Hey guys, big fan of Cobra Kai here, and today I'm going to discuss the new part of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2. So I know I'm a little late because it premiered last week, but I just decided to make this video to, give my overall thoughts, as I am a big fan of the series, and I guess I just wanted to get my feelings and my discussions out of the way, just to talk about it, and what a better way to do it than discussing it here on YouTube. So before that, I will discuss, give a little summary of what happened in the show, and then later on my thoughts, and I guess even my predictions on what might happen for Season 3. So first off, if you want to know what happened in season 1 through 5, check the Cobra Kai iceberg that I made. I basically give a pretty quick summary on what happened, especially the big parts. I know I briefly mentioned part 6, but I'll discuss a little bit the whole season right now. Spoilers, by the way. So in season 6, after the defeat of Silver, we see the gang all basically getting ready for the Sekai Tekai, and with them trying to get everything ready, from making amends, Kenny finally being a part of the Miyagi-Do, Samantha and Tori finally being friends again. They're trying to get ready while also remembering that Kreese escaped jail, fled to South Korea where he teamed up with Kim Da-eun, and is now forming his new Cobra Kai. The new Cobra Kai has a new student called Kwan. He's basically the new bad of this season. And then we find out in the Sekai Tekai that you need a female and male captain, so they decide to have a couple of rounds to decide who is going to be the leader of their group. And after a few, couple of exercises, we get to find out that it's Miguel and Robbie and Samantha and Tori. But spoiler alert, something bad has happened to Tori's mother. She passes away due to a blood clot, which leads to her basically getting upset and basically leaving Miyagi-Do after basically going on a full meltdown, explaining that where push comes to shove, they're always going to choose the daughter, Samantha, to be, captain no matter what. So she decides to leave and goes and joins Cobra Kai, with Robbie being the male captain after beating Miguel. Also, I forgot to mention that there are other side stories, like Kenny accidentally shitting himself because Devin took his drink and put laxatives so she can go to Spain, and Dimitri and Hawk, Eli, are over there arguing because they're going to college soon, and one's mad that they're going to MIT, the other's mad because he doesn't want to and wants to explore other colleges and do other stuff. So there's that happening in between. Also, Carmen, Miguel's mom, is pregnant, so that's what you need to know. Part 2, we start off, we finally go to Spain, everybody meets each other, and we meet a new dojo called the Iron Dragons. They're basically even better than Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. They have 2 star students, one called Alex and the other one called Zara. They were easily able to defeat both Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, and with Miyagi-Do actually having a little trouble in paradise as everybody isn't getting along with each other, plus the whole Tori going to Cobra Kai, everything is basically going horrible. Also, I forgot to mention this, Daniel saw something that Mr. Miyagi might not be the person he thought he was back in his youth, and he saw this with Chosen, and now he's trying to realize that maybe Miyagi was a horrible person and isn't the person he was idolizing all these years ago. And of course, this affects their performance in the Sekai Tekai, with them barely clutching a win thanks to the GOAT Miguel. But tragedy could have struck as Miguel and Johnny had to leave due to a complication on Carmen's birth, and with that they decided to bring in Kenny, and that's when Devin basically told the truth that she put the laxatives in his drink, and Kenny thought that Daniel's youngest son Anthony did it, and so now there was drama between that, and they finally got along now, and everything is going fine. But there's still a little dissension between the ranks in Cobra Kai, and Robbie is of course distressed that his girlfriend left to go to the other side and is probably potentially flirting with Kwan, and more teenage drama happens, but it's pretty cool. And then we find out that freaking Daniel gets abducted in Spain in some slum area and is caged with a bunch of dogs and escapes, and eventually finds out that someone who is a part of Cobra Kai set this up, and at first he thought it was Kreese, but then he realizes that it was actually Silver. Terry Silver from season 5, who was supposedly in jail, finally escaped due to, I guess, some horrible evidence. Through Stingray decided that if he's going out, he's going out in style, and decides to bring in Sensei Wolf and his dojo to basically play spoiler for Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, as they are the top dojo currently in the Sekai Tekai and currently in that world. And so after more stuff happens, they realize that they need to trust one another and basically work as a team if they want to actually win this tournament. And after a bunch of conversations and them finally getting along, they were able to defeat Cobra Kai, and we all thought this was all good until a Russian team tested positive for apparently human growth hormones or some sort of steroids. I don't know what it was. One of the Russians was played by Britt Baker from AEW. That was cool. But yeah, apparently that puts Cobra Kai back in the lead after losing, and when the tournament, I think semifinals, was happening, everything just goes to shit. There are some plot points that I forgot to mention. Zara, who is the female captain of the Iron Dragons, has some rivalry with Tori because she thought Robbie was cute, and the boys captain, Alex, is some sort of like Winter Soldier Frankenstein monster, and he falls in love with Sam until he finds out that Sam is actually with Miguel, and then he gets mad at Miguel Miguel, so he's just mean mugging him this whole like last 3 episodes. It's hilarious. Also, Kreese has the knife in part 1. He has to go through this adventure to prove that he is for real ready to lead a dojo, especially as his sensei for some reason is still alive. I'm pretty sure he would have been like 100 and something years old, but he's still alive and decides to take his dagger for where he lost it, and that proves that he is ready to basically beat his demons and defeat Miyagi-Do. And eventually with Terry Silver, he decides, well, why not do the same for him, as he put him to jail. As I said, everything goes good. The fights they're really good this season. Season 1 had a little bit of good fights. The Quan showcase was very good, and the final fight in episode 5 was good, but everything else was kind of mediocre and more, telling the story and the dissension for Miyagi-Do to get to Spain. And one thing that I did like this season, this part I mean, was that everybody in Miyagi-Do got a showcase. We all thought that someone was going to be fodder, but someone actually, everybody contributed, and it was very cool. My one nitpick is, besides Iron Dragon and Cobra Kai, I would kind of wish that we would have gotten other dojos to showcase how strong they are. We did get it kindly with Furia de Pantera and that one Irish team, but they didn't really do that much. And of course the Russian team was supposedly strong, but they were kind of nerfed after finding out that they were doing steroids, so it didn't really help their case, honestly. But yeah, we started, the semifinals were going good, then everything just goes to shit. One thing happens to another, everyone is fighting, the commissioner, I forgot his name, Gunther or whatever, is trying to tell everybody to calm down, gets punched in the face, everything is going horrible. Quan and Robbie are fighting, Miguel and Axel are fighting, Zara eventually goes one-on-one with Tori, this one Irish girl is mad at Sam for some reason, Hawk and Dimitri are over there trying to take out the Russian team, Devin and Kenny are trying to survive because they're barely freshmen in high school, Johnny's over there fighting a fucking cage fighter, it's all crazy, and Kreese, who has the dagger, is trying to go and apparently trying to stab the hell out of Terry Silver, tries to go to him, but drops his dagger. This will be important later on. He tries to go and actually confronts Terry Silver until he finds out he dropped his dagger, tries to go the one-on-ones with him until we find out that Terry Silver is actually he still got it like that. So after Daniel takes out that one Cobra Kai guy, who's actually a callback from Karate Kid Part 3, that was actually pretty cool. We see him team up with Johnny to take out the cage fighter, Sensei Wolf, and this leads to Johnny being knocked out, but goes and follows Kreese to Silver and pays him back for his assault on season 4. And as for the kids, well, everybody is going good. Samantha beat the Irish girl and she helps Robbie and Tori to take out the rest of the Iron Dragons and Zara, while Miguel and Axel are still fighting, and no one has hit Axel, or at least basically make him stagger. He's clearly the strongest fighter we've known out of the kids this whole series, and he's pretty strong. And Quan, who is basically crashing out at this point, decides to go after Robbie after being humiliated the last episode, tries to fight Robbie. Samantha tries to go in and save Robbie, but gets taken down by Quan, which Axel, who of course has a crush on Sam, goes and basically yeets Miguel and tries to basically break down Quan, and Quan, who just never gives up, tries to go against Axel, but everything goes bad as Axel just takes down Quan, and Quan immediately gets angry. He just goes ballistic. He starts laughing like a madman, grabs the dagger, and tries to somehow do a kick into a stab of some sort to Axel, but Axel perfectly blocks it, where Quan lands in the dagger and pierces his heart, dying. Yes, in Cobra Kai, we know people have died. Of course, we know that Johnny's friend has passed away, not just in real life, but in the show. Mr. Miyagi is, of course, the biggest death in the series, and there's others, but we've never seen a gruesome death like this one, and especially of a young person, because Quan has to be, like 16 to 18 years old. He's in the same age range, so it's pretty extreme. And especially after Daniel's whole thing of karate might be, a place where you get hurt, but it isn't dangerous. No one's gonna die. And suddenly some kid actually did die. So that's where we left off the cliffhanger for part 2. Right now, what are the predictions? Well, clearly something is gonna have to do with Quan's death. I feel like the Sekai Tekai honestly should end. If it happened in real life, it probably would end. What I think, there might be a year time skip where they halt everything, everything is done, nothing. The Sekai Tekai is no longer in session. It's canceled, essentially. And because of this, they decide to do the next Sekai Tekai in America, and most importantly, in California, in the Valley. So yes, that's why there was some screenshots and some actual footage of the Sekai Tekai being in the same place where the All Valley was, and that's where I think the Sekai Tekai is going to be at. I feel like they're gonna skip completely that year after the Quan incident. No one's gonna fight in karate. They're gonna cancel that whole part that year, and then next year they might restart it. Now you might be wondering, isn't this one only for kids? I feel like for those that were in it, they would be allowed to go back in it if they want to. And I feel like we're gonna see a couple of people going to college. of course, some people are still in high school, but the main trio are in college, and we'll see how it goes. I feel like Miguel is still in college purgatory, not knowing. They all graduated, of course, and we don't know if Miguel is going to Stanford. Robbie is, of course, conflicted because he's probably getting his GED, and after that GED, what is he gonna do? You know, Tori is, of course, probably gonna do the same thing, and she also has to know that, you know, her mom passed away, so what is she gonna do? As for Sam, she's probably just gonna be not wanting to touch karate after that death, and we don't even know what happens to Hawk and Dimitri. Is Hawk going to MIT with Dimitri? We don't know. And as for Kreese and Silver, I believe Kreese might actually, for the first time, because he realized that someone actually died, he just decides to not be a part of karate anymore. Kim Da-eun probably is gonna banish him because, one, they lost originally, but now another great shame happened. He killed one of her students. Even though he didn't do it personally, he basically got in Kwan's mind and gave him a big ego, which led to him crashing out against Axel, you know, and eventually trying to stab him, which ended up backfiring. So that's what I think. I feel like I've seen an image of Miguel wearing the Cobra Kai gi, and I feel like that has something to do with Johnny getting a hold of Cobra Kai and trying to fix that image. I feel like Daniel, after what happened with Kwan, no longer wants to be associated with karate. He's taking a break. He isn't doing anything. He's probably going to tell his daughter and son to do the same thing. Miyagi-Do is probably going to get canceled, and with Johnny trying to get the guys to get that notoriety of the Sekai Tekai, brings back Cobra Kai, but this time this is John Lawrence's Cobra Kai, not John Kreese's. That's what I think, and I feel like this is going to lead to, from what we've seen, I think Daniel is going to finally succumb to at least finish teaching the Miyagi-Do students, because I feel like it's his duty to at least help these guys finish their story. You know, the Kwan incident was a tragedy, but it's not for anyone else's. It wasn't for Daniel as well, and he could just think that Kwan just had the wrong sensei and link it up to something what Miyagi said. So he's gonna help Robbie and Sam and the rest of the Miyagi-Do in the Sekai Tekai, but Johnny's gonna have his team Cobra Kai. And so this time we're gonna have the 3 teams, and Miguel is gonna be the captain. I don't know who's gonna be the captain. I think Tori for Cobra Kai, because I feel like they have more of a, you know, connection. And it's gonna end with Tori winning the women's division, because I feel like she probably deserves the biggest win, honestly, because honestly next to karate she has nothing, honestly. So I feel like that's a big part of Tori, and her realizing that her rivalry with Sam became a friendship, and that with Zara she could finally beat this bitch. She did a good job, the actress of Zara. Everybody did a good job this season. Everybody was great. But yeah, you know, her arc of beating Zara and beating Sam, finally a actual winner, not being muddled by a school fight, a brawl at home, or a crooked referee. So I think that's what's gonna happen. As for the boys, I feel like this is Miguel's time. I feel like Robbie's gonna injure Axel, or at least get a couple of hits in, but Miguel is going to get the win. He's gonna be the final, you know, we're gonna end it with the actual Karate Kid of Cobra Kai, you know, winning the big one, and against Axel, and especially with them having a story, I think that's what's gonna happen. Apparently people are thinking that Johnny's gonna fight Sensei Wolf, and that will be interesting, but for right now I feel like that's what's gonna end. I feel like Kreese might die. I know we don't want him to die, but I heard that John Kreese was gonna be redeemed somehow, and I feel like his death is gonna be a part of it. Terry Silver, I think he might die as well, but probably as a bitter man. Apparently there are theories, you know, stating that he has like cancer or some sort of disease. I feel like that's a perfect way to end the legacy of Terry Silver as someone who was just crazy, instead of being a benevolent, you know, benefactor of karate. I think that's pretty poetic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for hearing me rant about Karate Kid, Cobra Kai season 6. Apparently there's gonna be a Karate Kid movie, Karate Kid Legacy, I believe. But yeah, that's apparently what's gonna happen. Those are my predictions. Maybe I'll do a counter if I did it correct. Please watch this video. I like Cobra Kai. I kind of wish I would have talked about it more, but I know you guys are here for the spooky stuff, and I wanted to at least give you guys a daily dose of spooky every Friday, or at least once a week, you know. But again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I can get this out as soon as possible. I have, of course, another video that I'm doing. Hopefully, I think it's already done by the time this video gets posted, because that one has a more priority than this one. But this one is just a, you know, a little rant video. It's a little bonus video for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.